Well, hi my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. I am back, and of course, I'm excited. I am back with a finish to share with all my friends. So I hope you just, as you can see from the intro pictures, I did a slideshow showing you some of my sweaters and of course the scarves. And then tonight I have the finish of, remember this pretty blue sweater that we worked the stitch from Wendy Bernard's stitch book from scratch. And I'm telling you, I have a beautiful fit. I love it. It's simple, may not be everybody's style or preference. Look, but that's okay. I'm just enjoying the journey, and I hope that you are too. So, before we get started, how are you, my friends? I hope you're doing well. I'm telling you, already it's hot here. When I started the sweater, it was winter. That was just a few weeks ago. Now, we have a little cold snap, but then it's already getting hot. You can just see. I feel like I'm having a hot flash right now. So hot. So this is going to be a quick on camera, just a chit chat. I don't know. I can chat when I'm off camera, but it's so funny when I'm on camera, I can't think of a thing to say. But you see, once I get to the counter, I think of all kind of commercials. I think of things that are funny. Well, first of all, come on, Jay. Here is my finished, like I said, finished sweater. I've got a great fit. I'll even stand up just a little bit. That you see, even big girls. Look, even big girls. Hey, we can dress it up or dress it down. Whatever it takes. So, now, with this, you remember, now I'm going to remove my flower because the whole point of this video is to talk about the scarf, the sweater, and the scarf. You know, that's my style. It's not everybody's style, so look, I need to stop apologizing. This is what I started with, this is where I have worked on, and this is where I'll probably end. So, now the first scarf, like I said, was when I started this sweater, it really was cold. So I picked out a more of a winter style fabric that I got at Joann's. Now here's the scarf. I've got it all sewn up. Nice, long, and pretty. And all I have to do is just fold it in half or fold it back like that. Put it around my neck. And of course, you can wear it many ways. You know, the little faux tie in front. Now I gotta look. See how, oh my gosh. Whew, man, am I sweating under these lights? What do you think of that? Or, of course, you can do some kind of, you can do some kind of wrap around like this and have it short, I guess. You know, I won't go through all of them because, like I said, man, I didn't realize it was this hot under these lights. Oh, isn't that cute? So for the little cool weather, still a little cooler. You don't have to knit or crochet every scarf. Back in the day, we used to call these tube scarves because that's all it is. And of course, I'm going to show you all that when we go to the counter. But, you can do this and then wrap it around and then come down this way. Let's just see. Oh, look at that. What do you think? It's fun. It's easy. It's very little sewing. And like I said, you can dress it up or you can dress it down. So now, this one, like I said, when I started, it was much colder. So later on, I went over to Joann's again, and I thought, well, maybe I better change that scarf. It's just going to be a little too hot. Well, you know, it's getting hot, so look at this beautiful floral I found. I want to just show it to you before I put it on. Look at this pretty floral I found. Isn't that pretty? It's kind of a pale, pale, pale pink. It's not white. It's not a white. It's a pale, light pink. And then, of course, like I said, you could just simply take it. I like to fold it back. I like to fold it back on itself like that. And then, let's see how this one's going to look. Now it's more like a spring, like the actual season we're in, at least here. Now let's see this one. Oh, what do you think? Is that pretty? Soft. You know, yes, I'm a girly girl. I like the flowers. I like the scarves. I like the dangles. I like the bracelets. I like the different pins. But this, or you can just do the smart look where you just wear it straight down. And then you could have a pin or something else. I won't get up and get a pin. But let's see. You can wear it. Oh my gosh. I look like I'm ready to go somewhere special. What do you think? Isn't that cute? And these scarves are so long. When I show you how simple and how easy it is to make them, you're going to be like whipping these things out. Like I said, you can wear it different ways. You can loop it around. You can have it coming down. You know, you just make it like you want to wear it. Do your own style. What do you think? So, this is my show and tell for tonight. My finish and my beautiful simple sew scarves. Like I said, you can dress them up or you can dress them down. And some people can use these and do a pretty head wrap and put the knot or something. I don't know how to do all that. I hardly ever, but you could, and that would make a statement too. So this is what I want to come on camera right away to show you, that I have a finish. And I hope that those that work this sweater, yes, it was time consuming, it was long, I had 6 videos. But you know what? I'm about taking my time. And it really helps, and it shows, and it proves, because I get very little people says, Jay, I don't understand this, or just very seldom, because I try to think and cover every step. So yes, it's long, and yes, it's a lot of information. But that's what's so great about the YouTube. You don't have to take it all in at once. You can do the back and then do other things, do other projects, got other things going. Then you come back and say, okay, now I'm going to work on I'm going to work on part of the front. You can just work at your own pace. The whole idea of this exercise, or this practicing knitting and knitting sweaters from scratch, is to settle in with some numbers that work for your body. Hey, because it's impossible for me to know everybody's body. I use myself as an example so that I can calculate or do the math, but I can only, the math, is just the math. You have to figure out what math will fit you, or what numbers, and I share with you over and over and over. I started making and designing my own sweaters because I asked one simple question. I wonder how many stitches would it take to go from my waist. At that time I was going all the way across, but now I've shortcut it. How many stitches would it take to go from one side of my waist to the center or to my belly button area? And then I'd sit and count those stitches. And then I automatically use the same number for this side. And then the wonderful thing about my system, as soon as you get that number, no matter what it is, round it up. You can't just add 4, you have to round it up to the next number divisible by 4. So for me, you know, if it landed on 91, 92, I'd round up to 96. That's the next number divisible by 4. And that has become my number for my sweater. So, and then, not only do I get 96 across the front, I will also get 96 stitches across the back. And that's how I'm able to knit these sweaters and use a number. But now, my system is based mainly on, because I'm a fluffy girl, you know, I just can't knit these sweaters in small yarn. People, it just takes too long. So I'm a standard. I try to stay around number 4 weight yarn as much as possible. You know, that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm showing you the system. So if you like to have smaller yarn and smaller needles, the system will work for you if you work it. You know, I can only give you the system, but now you have to work, and you'd have to do the same thing with whatever yarn or yarn weight that you prefer. And you do the same system and count, and everything works out just the same. And then all you have to do is take your time, make good notes, and follow me step by step. And of course, I want you to send me some pictures. Send me some pictures of your sweater. Take pretty pictures of your sweater. Put it in, you know, just think of the background. Think of where you're taking the picture. And send me 2 or 3 beautiful pictures. There's always an address at the end of every video. A Gmail address for you to send your pictures. And I would love to have them so that I can do a video and showcase your beautiful work. What do you think of that? All right, so let me stop this, and then I'm going to share with you. Maybe we'll chit-chat a little more and share with you a few other things that I'm thinking, and we'll just go from there. All right? I'll be back in just a minute. Well, I'm back, and I thought, well, what can I chat about? It's so unusual for me to just sit and chat. You know, I'm one of those people, I need to be doing something, moving in order to chat. And then things just come to my mind. But just to sit here and look at the camera, look, I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me. All right, so let's see if I tried to make some notes, but I couldn't even think of any notes. Oh, first of all, thank y'all so much for all the wonderful comments about my new shawl. It's Jay's Knit. It's now or never lace shawl. Come on, people. It's now late. It's now or never to give this shawl a nice try. So I enjoyed making it and designing it. It's very simple, you know, but it's fun. And like I said, it's from scratch, and it's from a stitch book. And I just like to, I don't know, I like for you to realize how much you really know and don't know you know it. Yeah, that's good. How much you know and don't know that you really know. And how you finally can put together things. And you're going to come up with ideas and stitches that's going to be amazing. Because we'll just change that. We'll take the shawl as I designed it, the whole idea of it, and then we'll put new stitches in. You know, I've got so many, you know, things in my catalog. This will be my 8th year on YouTube. I can't believe it. 8 years. Okay, I'll tell you the story how I started. Never chit-chatted before. I'm trying to think of things. Okay, so my son came home and had a camera and a lot of equipment. He's not a video engineer. He's a mechanical engineer. He has a real job engineering at a big company. And But he came home and he says, well, I'm working on some stuff to make some videos, to do some videos, and I need to practice. I need you. He says, so he said, well, why don't you, since you watch this YouTube all the time, why don't you give a tour of your room? And that's how it got started. My son put me on YouTube. And look, I haven't looked back. I thought, oh my word. I love this. But it's a lot of work, people. I'm telling you. I think some of you forget that I will be 74 this year. 74. It is so much work just to do this few minutes on camera. Takes me 2 days just to get ready. Well, I have to clean this. I have to move that. I have to try to do certain things. I have to put the clear all in my hair. I tried it without it. So it doesn't last long. So I'm trying to soak it up as much as possible, because you won't see me on camera for a while, until I put it in again. But it just takes so long. There is a lot of work. There is so much work to. So you really need to stop and think the people that you watch and your favorites, and you need to just let them know. The ones who have content now. I don't have anything to say about what people put in their videos, but I'm talking about people who actually put content, who take time and have all the different segments and ideas and try to share as much as possible. I think I'm thankful that I'm just on YouTube enjoying myself, because I didn't get on or discover or get into this till later in my life. Like I said, I'll be 74 this year. Now, if I had started it this way back when, I might would be different, or I might be more revenue conscious, trying to make a living but I don't have to do that. I'm just kind of having fun and meeting new friends, and I'm trying to leave a legacy to let people know who I was. That look, Jay was here. You know that phrase. Harry was here. Well, Jay was here. And just to prove it, she's on the YouTube. As long as the YouTube is in the world, she's on there, and you can go watch her way back when. And of course, I'll be gone on. So I'm trying to think of things and put things in, and just get my story out. When my birthday comes around, I'm gonna give you some more interesting facts about me and some of my other interests that I had before I got on YouTube from back in the day. You remember I was a telephone operator. I just go through a lot of different things, and so I have just a couple more things I'll add. I was a roller. I skated. Oh, do I miss my skating days? I should have never stopped. I should have never stopped skating, and I think that's would have been the most thing to keep you, just keep you healthy, keep you motivated, keep you moving, keep your energy up, because this COVID thing, just being in the house so much, it has just zapped me. Oh, I go to the kitchen, I come back, I take a nap. I walk to the back of my house, I got a long house. I don't have any steps, thank goodness, but it's the ranch real long. By the time I come back, I have to take a nap. I go out, go to the store, I come back, I got to take. Because it has just drained me, sitting and knitting and crocheting and knitting, and then I have to get up and make a video. So, you're my inspiration. You're my encouragement. You're my helper. You're my lifter. You help me. I just appreciate it so much. And that's why I'm always excited. No matter how I'm feeling, physically or mentally, I try to bring uplifting thoughts and feelings. I want you to have that. I want you to have that energy from me. Then in turn, then I know that you're going to send me some encouraging words too. And it really does help. Now, what else did I want to talk about? Well, we talked about the shawl, so I'm thankful for that. Now, where am I taking my channel? What do I want for my channel? You know, I've got a lot. I have a nice big catalog, which I'm very proud. Sometimes people will ask me about a video, and or ask me about something in a video, and I'll go look it up. I'll say, okay, well, let me go look it up, and then I'll get, and I'll come back and try to answer the question. I go back and I'm thinking, well, when did I make that? Where did I come up with that idea? Oh my gosh, look, I shot myself. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Did I do that? I'm always shocked when I look back. It's like being a different person. That's what I want to say. It's about being a different person. Like, I know a lot of actors and actresses, in order to perform and get up there and give their best, they have to have like an alter ego or an altered person to lift that load of, or be that expressive person, when I'm really an introvert. I know it's hard to believe, but I really am. Now, I enjoy, going out, and I enjoyed my friends when we were knitting and all that, and I had my own shop, and I had to be around people, but I don't mind being alone. I'm never lonely, because I enjoy just being around things that make me happy. Oh, so I have to kind of gear myself up to think, now, what do I need to do to take my YouTube channel forward? And like I say, I'm 74, so it can't be too much forward. I'll be like that person making the marks on the wall. Okay, 74, 75, 70. How long is this going on? Oh, so that's what I don't know. So I'm thinking of, well, first of all, I'm going to keep making sweaters. But I have decided on this. Because of my age, just looking back at the sweaters, some of the sweaters I have made, I'm not going to do too much of where the sweater is not open down the front, where it's all, like one piece and then the lace. There was one I made that was blue and had pretty lace, had some eyelets or yarn overs all in the front. Well, people, once you get to a certain age and gravity takes over, I don't care how much you pay for a bra, gravity is gonna win. And that type of sweater does not go well with my body type as it is now. If you're small to medium, it looks probably great on you, and you're not too large in the bust. That style probably looks good. But as you can see, this is more my preference, because it just flows better with my body and with what the effect of gravity is having on me. But so I will be concentrating more on this style of sweater as we continue to knit sweaters, where they'll just be open down the front. Now, they'll be bottom up, as this one was, and also top down. Once y'all encourage me to try top down or get into it more, I just fell in love with it. So I'm going to work with that. Now, the next thing I need to challenge myself, my friend Helene just did a little YouTube video about different textures of stitches and adding color and stuff. Well, as you can see, Jay is the queen of solids. So I'm going to have to try to venture more into bringing. I have a lot of yarn, people, with all different colors and everything, but yet every time I pick out something, it's just stuck in my head. So I need to try to reach in and just grab up some yarn and let some of that color, and put colors and different textures, stitches together and things like that. Just to be a little on the brave side. Don't have a phobia about it. Oh my gosh, do I put that with that? Or, maybe I can try some in some of the shawls that I do. But that's going to be a learning curve for me. I know what kind of sweaters I'm going to be working on. So if you're on the fluffier side like me, I'm kind of ditching that all over sweater, unless it's just something that's a little different, you know. And stick with open down the front, short sleeve, long sleeve, whatever. Lace, it can be lace, but just open down the front. It just makes that gravity not look so apparent if you are a fluffy your size. All right, let's see. I can't think of anything. Well, I'm going to keep on working with charts here and there. I'm not, and you know, like I tell you all the time, I'm not a professional knitter or high-end knitter or anything like that. But, you know, I'm willing to learn, and once I learn something, you know, I get excited and I want to practice it. And then once I kind of see that I can figure it out, or that I can, on the tier that I'm on, you know, then I share it with my friends. So we'll be working some charts and doing some fun things with that. And it just increases, I think it just opens up not only ideas to come to us, but us to come up with our own ideas and then to share them with each other. That's all that does. We're just thinking and practicing and sharing with one another. So now, the next thing I'm going to do, okay, how did I do on my Chit Chat? I was trying to Chit Chat. Okay, I ain't down with that sipping and eating and all that while you're talking to Okay. You know, I'm old school. Okay. All right. So now the next thing I want to do is go to the counter and show you exactly how to put together these simple scarves. Now this is just going to be a real quick little video on that part. I'm not going to sew on camera or like I did the first one. I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. But the whole purpose of this is to just let you know that I'm starting this year of 2021, as we all are, with great expectations, great hope, looking forward, want to not only just, I don't want it to be just as it was, but I want to increase the things that we share and we give out and we take in. So I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think, you know, I just think this is just, it's going to change how we look at things, what we have come through together. We have come through a great, that a lot of people didn't come through. But we that have made it so far, and I hope that we're going to be able to continue on, and then with the vaccines and all of that, and hopefully, you know, I think it's just going to give us that much more encouragement. And I'm excited. I'm excited to share it and to know that you're here to share it with me. I can't tell you what it means to me after 8 years of the YouTube. People still watch me. I thought about going into some things like when I first got on, and but I thought, no, Jay, that's petty, you know. But I do have people still watch me, so I'm grateful for that. Like I said, I'm not in it because I have to be in it. I'm in it because I love and I want to be in it and be on YouTube. So, nothing else to do. I just wanted to give you that heartfelt thank you. I wanted to show you my finish. I want you to know that this is going to be my 74th birthday year, 2021. And I have plans to go and continue as long as I can. So now, nothing else to do, but now we'll go to the counter and let's finish up this video with a little, look, I got some beautiful fabric to show you. Little tutorial on my So Easy little scarf. All right, I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, I'm going to stand over here at my counter and walk you through this just easy process. For supplies, if you have a quilter's mat, a grid mat, then go ahead and take out your rotary mat and, of course, your rotary cutter. And be sure to keep your blade covered at all times, less in use, and a ruler to cut by. Alright, so now, the most important thing is, wherever you get your fabric, you only need for this little scarf a half of a yard. Half of a yard, 18 inches. And so I go ahead and buy my half a yard, or several of them from different fabrics. I bring it home. Now listen, if the fabric holds wrinkles, then go ahead and iron the fabric. Just iron it a little bit just to relax it. Then I fold the fabric in half, and then I fold it like in half again. Just fold it so that I get a nice little fold line right here, which I will place on one of the lines, one of my grid lines, on my ruler. That's the whole point of this, is just to straighten out from what they have cut at the store. Most likely, I'm sure it's not straight. So this way you'll get a nice cut, and we're just simply going to square up or straighten up our lines so that we can sew this simple scarf. So those are the supplies. Here's some new fabric that I have. This is going to be a surprise down the road. So all I have to do now is to take my ruler and square this side up. I'm right-handed, so I'll start on this side. I don't measure. I don't see how much I have left. Just move it over just enough for you to straighten, give yourself a straight line. And you know how to cut. Like I say, if you don't have this type of stuff, that's not something you do, a good pair of scissors will work just fine. There you go. So now I have squared up whatever the cut was that I got from Joann's. Now let's see if I'm on camera for this side. Yep. Alright, so now I can simply go over here. It's a little awkward for me because I'm right-handed. In fact, I'm going to have to turn mine. I'm just going to flip it over so that I can do all the cuts from this side and I can see. Okay, so now I have to put this back, put the fold line back on the line. Find yourself a nice line that's going to give you a nice straight edge. I see one right here. So I'm going to place this ruler here. Okay, and you say, well, yeah, you're going to lose some, but that's why we get the half yard. Believe me, the scarf is going to be wide enough and big enough. And you can slide it over. If you feel like you're wasting too much, just kind of slide it over just to the point where you can line that ruler up just like that. Of course, you take your cutter. Okay, now we know that we have at least two edges that are nice and straight, or straight as we could get them. Now I'm going to take the two salvage edges like that, line them up, because we don't want the Joann name and all that on here, and then I'm going to fold that. Try to line it up. Oh, I'm standing up, so I'm hoping this is on. And then I'm going to move this. Once I fold it, I get the fold on a grid line. Just like that. Now I'm going to just smooth that out just enough. This is just a scarf, people. It's just a scarf. And I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Some people leave it on, but I'll just go ahead and take it off. Just so I can kind of square at the bottom. And then close your blade. So now I have a beautiful piece of fabric that I have squared off or made the edges as nice as possible. Does that make sense? And if you see that it's not, you can always go back and take a little more off. or do it again or line it back up. But this then is what you're going to take to your sewing machine. You're going to, just like you sew any seam, you're going to turn the right side, you're going to fold it in half and take right sides to right side. Here's the right side of my fabric right there. I'm going to fold it in, and this is what you'll take to your sewing machine. This long piece of, like a tube, like I said back in the day, we called them tube scarves because that's how we started. We make a long tube. Now I'm going to sit down a minute. In fact, let me see, can I sit down? Oh, Lord, my back. That's why I don't sew anymore as much. Oh, Lord, my back. All right, let's see if I'm on. Man, that sewing took its toll. Okay. I was sewing more from when I did my craft shows. A lot of little sewing things. Then you're going to take this to your sewing machine. And now, when you go to your sewing machine, check your needle size before you ever start. Working on these very woven type fabrics, very lightweight fabrics, I suggest you go to a smaller needle than you normally use, than when you're doing just regular fabrics. A number 9 always works really well for me. A number 9, whatever brand that fits your machine, always have it on hand in case you want to ever make these nice little lightweight scarves. Does that make sense? So change your needle first, and then once your needle is changed, then everything else is just very, very simple. My first video, I went through a lot of trouble in pinning and all that, and I thought, oh, it don't take all that. What you want to do, when my mother taught me years ago, she would just go down the long seam, this one. But I like to start up here at the top first, instead of go up here and just go across. Just sew across and sew up this seam, line the edges up as best you can. You know, this little fabric sometimes gets hard to work with, but you line it up and sew across. Then, you know, of course, back stitch. Then you're going to work this long seam. This is the long seam going down the whole length of the scarf. See, the wrong side is out on each side. Right sides are facing. And you're just going to go down this long seam as you're sewing on your machine. And listen, these are very simple scarves, but if you have sergers and a lot of other equipment and you want to make nicer seams and all of that and serge or zigzag your seams. On my first video, I did a seam, and then I did more like a French seam, where then you'd roll it over and sew it again. But these are just very simple little scarves. So it's up to you. You do whatever you like or you know that will work for you. But leave yourself a nice, in other words, don't sew the seam right on the edge, because this fabric can fray and all of that. So just come in a good quarter of an inch. I mean, give yourself a nice seam. We have half a yard, people, to make this scarf. And you just go all the way down. Now, when you get to this end, I always do this end last, okay? Then you'll back stitch and lift up your feet, your sewing foot, and turn and come this way, and you'll come in about 2 inches. Then you'll leave about 2 inches. You have to leave that 2 inches so that we can go back up in there with at least 2 fingers and go all the way to the top and pull that other end through. Leave about 2 inches unsewn, then come over here and sew just straight across like that and back stitch. And that's your simple seam. Now I want to show you some that I have just worked on. I didn't bring my machine. I went to the back of the house. It was just a lot easier to have it back there than to do all of this. Here's one that I went back to the back. Let me see if I'm on. If I need to back out. No, I think I'm good. Alright. As you can see, I've done exactly what I've shared with you. This is the wrong side, so the right sides are together. You can't see the stitch line, but it is stitched. I've stitched this one. I stitched it straight across. Then I went down my long seam. So I just sewed it right up. And I left a nice look. I left a nice, I don't know if you can see my thread, it's right there. But I left a nice wide seam. I didn't get right on the edge so that if any fraying happens, it won't ruin my scarf. So you just continue to sew down, sew down, sew down. Now, when I got down here, even though I measured or cut all the edges I thought were nice and straight, but you can see sometimes this fabric just moves and you get, oh, that's fine, that's okay, because we have a lot of fabric here, we have extra. So I simply turn the fabric so that I can sew across and just move the seam in so that I can come back and trim this off if it doesn't match up just perfect. Most of the time it matches up fine, but this one I guess moved a little bit. But anyway, I moved the fabric over so that my seam was a little wider down here. I sew across, stop. I left about a 2-inch space gap right there. Now I can get my 2 fingers in and go all the way up to the top. And then you stop and then move over here and sew it and then back stitch. Then you're able, and let me show you how. So now I'm going to put my 2 fingers in. Watch, since this is a tube, I can just pull the whole tube over my hand like this. Let's see if that's showing up, or do I need to back out? I could have backed out a little bit. But all the way up here, now here's my fingers way up here now. So now I can grab this inner side of the tube, pull the whole tube over my hand, and then I can pull, get back. Then I can pull this whole tube. See, that's why we call them tube scarves. I can pull the whole tube through that little 2-inch opening. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, take your time. This fabric is very, you have to be careful and gentle with it. You don't want to break strands or mess up your fabric, and you poke out your little holes. And of course you can take a pin. A lot of times you take a straight pin or a safety pin and just there is a tool to poke that out, but by the time I get up and try to look for it, I just reach up and get a straight pin. You know, that's the way my life goes, trying to find stuff. Alright, and then make sure that this will go on the inside, that little opening, and then I do a lot of scarves, and then I will sit and just lightly hand stitch this, or you can just use some stitch witchery. You know, the little stuff you put inside. I'd put a little piece inside, and then when you iron it, it just automatically glues it or sticks it down, like interfacing. You can just use a little piece of stitch witchery if you don't even want to hand stitch. Like, okay, Jay, I got that. And then you go up to this end, and then you're just going to do the same thing. Find your corners. You don't have your hand in it, but you have your little straight pin or safety pin, and you reach in and you just kind of keep prodding and poking just lightly. Don't overdo it, and find those beautiful little points and pull them through just like that. Let's see if I got it. There you go. All right, look. Now I have, look at this. But wait. The magic comes when you take it to your ironing board. You cannot get the magic unless you take this scarf and all the ones you do to the ironing board, and then the magic shows up. All right, let me show you a couple more, and we'll go to the ironing board. Hold on 1 minute. These little scarves become so habit forming. So, like I said, when you buy your fabric, go ahead and buy several pieces. When you thread your machine, go ahead and thread it in a neutral color as much as possible to match a lot. In other words, I would do all dark colors together when I got ready to sew, and then I'd put all the neutral or light colors together so that I don't have to keep changing out my thread and my bobbin. Does that make sense? And like I said, don't forget to get a smaller, finer needle, number 9 works great for me. But one, like I said, these things become so habit forming. Think of how you can use these scarves or what you might need it for. Every wardrobe, you need something black and white. So here's one that I have sewn up. I have my tube. I have my 2 inches down here. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers, go in, pull it all the way up. Now I can pull the tube over my hand. See, I'm just putting it over my arm, just like this. It just slides like butter. I grab the other seam right here. Now I can pull the whole tube. Oops, I dropped it. Let me go back up. I dropped it. Grab it again and go up here and just grab the seam or grab something up here at the end. This one is really slicking. So now I pull that through, and then I pull everything out of the tube. And of course, I go to push out my points. I think I said hold before. And you can always, like I said, grab a straight pin or safety pin to help you kind of poke out the points. Just be careful and don't punch a hole, or don't ruin your little scarf. You'll get the points out. Just take your time. Go over here and then do this side. That one popped right out. Then you have to go to the bottom. Now, like I said, these become so habit forming for those that like to, if this is your style of dress, this may not be anything you would even dare wear. Oh. But I love something like this. Now, what I would do, where I would use this for, something comes up, I'm talking all pre-COVID and after we get back to our lives, somewhat of a life. Would this not be pretty? All I have to do is be able to get into my pair of slacks, if I can still wear them, my black, really nice slacks, my really cute little black shoes for me, for an old lady, my old lady shoe. A beautiful white top or a blouse, or maybe I would even knit something. I could knit something really nice and loose with a little boat neck. Maybe just take 2 rectangles and we knit 2 rectangles. Oh, we got to do this. Knit 2 rectangles. Now, I can wear this. I just don't want to wear sweaters that are, like I said about the gravity. A lace front, a regular back, or a lace front and back. Just 2 rectangles, then sew the shoulders, just sew the side seam, leave your arms open, and then have like a boat neck. Now look, then tie this in a pretty like little bow or something around your neck with your black slacks. Now, tell me that isn't classy, and it just looks smart to me. Black and white. So always make sure that you do, if you're going to practice, look for some black and white fabric. Something, you might like floral. This is like a little print. Really pretty. All right, now I'm going to take all these to the iron board at one time, so I'll do the magic at the end. So now one more, I wanted to show you this, but I just wanted to let you know, think of when you're buying fabric, it may not even be for a sweater you knit right now. Maybe you say, okay, I don't have my sweater done, and okay, Jay, but I do want to try the scarf. This will work in your everyday life. A black pair of slacks, a pretty white shell. I can wear my white shells from Walmart. I don't care what nobody. I'll put on my white shell and put this around my neck with me a pretty necklace and some earrings. Woo! I think that is smart. And last but not least, look at this. Just for those who just say, okay, Jay, I want some color here. I want to do something. Let's do something wild and wet. So here's some pretty fabric. Now, of course, I've done the sewing. Just like I shared with you, you can really see how nice and wide the seams are here. So you don't make your seam right on the edge. Move your foot in. Give yourself plenty of room. Now this one didn't fray at all. But be sure on this end, and I always do this end last so that I will remember to leave. Sometimes you have to snip that little thread though, because it could pull. See that little thread where I jumped over and left the 2 inches? Alright, so I'll have to be careful. Don't cut the fabric, Jay. Okay, so I'll snip that off. All loose. Now I have this opening right here, just like in the other ones, where I can get my 2 fingers in. I put my 2 fingers in. Now I start pulling the tube over my hand, over my arm. Just pull the tube, just like this. My hand's in there, and I'm pulling on the tube or the scarf till I get to the other side one more time. Grab the seam, now pull that seam or the other end through, and then the tube will have to follow. You just keep pulling it. Oh, look at that pop of color. Look at that. Oh my God, that little point popped right out. It wanted to escape. Oh, now this is, I don't know if you can see this color, but it's kind of a dark blue. It's not black. It's like a deep blue. There's some purple. Or I think that's more, I don't know if that's purple or grape. Maybe it's purple, I don't know. What's grape and what's purple? Okay, I got to go to this end and kind of work my points out. Just take your time and pull it out. I just wanted to do this simple little tutorial just to remind you, even though we're knitting and crocheting, I do have a new crocheting project. Finally, well, it's a beautiful sweater, jacket. Wait till you see it. I don't want to give it away right now. Alright, so now I have this beautiful piece of fabric. Look at that. With a lot of colors. There's the blue, there's a little hint of the orange. Kind of sunrise colors. Would still look pretty in late summer. If you don't want to use it early summer, you can go, this would be beautiful in August. Something with a pretty, beautiful shell top, this color. Just set it off. Or, of course, I use white. But this orangey color, any of that. Look how long and pretty that is. All right, Bird, what do you think? What do you think, Bird? All right, let me take all my scarves to the ironing board, and then I will come back and do the big reveal. Let you see what happens when you iron it. The magic just brings out the scarves. All right, back in just a minute. All right, so I'm back. I've been to the ironing board, and I just wanted to come back and give a nice little presentation of the ones that that I walked you through on camera. I'm going to call this Jay's So Fabulous Spring Scarves. Jay's So Fabulous Spring, to usher in spring. So now here is one that we worked down on camera. I cut the fabric. I just didn't take time to sew on. It's just so hard to sew, so I just went and sewed the seams like I shared with you. Now this will be with a beautiful, oh, I don't know, you can go with black, you can go with this mustard color, a little hint of gold light. Isn't that pretty? It's light and airy, so you can see my hands through it. Isn't that pretty? And look how long they are. And like I said, if you're not a hand sewer, then all you have to do is take a little piece of stitch witchery and just put it there and then iron over that seam. And it holds it together. Just like iron on interfacing or whatever. But here's this one. And remember there were some black buttons. Oh, I didn't take my buttons out. Remember I had the buttons to go with this one. Now the buttons will go on if I knit a sweater or something. I try to use the buttons on a sweater to give an accent or tie it all together. Since I have a collection of buttons, people, I'm trying to use some of this stuff. Otherwise, somebody's going to hit the jackpot at the Goodwill one day. So now here's the first one. I'm going to lay it to the side. I'm going to just lay it over here. Now here's another that we looked at together. Here's a beautiful gray, and this fabric is lightweight and thin, just like that first one. Look how thin it is. You can see my hand. Isn't that pretty? Now this one, it still had some metallic in it. Well, that one did too. All these two had metallic. So this would be very dressy, but very, very, dressed up. Like I say, you can dress them up depending on what jewelry you wore with it, or what slacks, or whatever you wore with it. Be cute with a beautiful, some people still wear long dresses, just to make a pretty, when you have a long dress and maybe have the split on the side or something, a beautiful little top, and you throw this on with some pretty beads. Oh my gosh, would that not be pretty? Now I'm too short, I can't wear that, but if you're tall enough, that would be really pretty. The skirts with the split for the summer. Oh my word. So there's that one, and it's nice and long. It's really pretty. All right, I just wanted you to see how they look once you iron them, and then you feel like, oh. Now this is the only material that was hard to iron. It didn't want to take ironing, so some fabrics are like that. They're just made, it's what they're made out of, nylon, rayon, or whatever. But I went ahead and ironed it anyway, but it was hard to iron. It didn't really lay flat as those, but it's very pretty. This is, though, what I said, always make sure you have some black and white in your wardrobe or scarf. People, it's a great way to hide if you got a little something, little junk in the front. And you have your sweater on, or your cute little black slack suit with the open down the front jacket, and you just need a little something to kind of hide what's in the front. Look, fabulous scarf will do the trick every time. Not only does it look, like I said, smart, because you can dress it up or you can dress it down. So here's the black and white one. So remember that. So now, and in the pictures you saw, I have some other black and white ones too. But always have something black and white. You never know. An emergency might arise that you need to have something really smart. Okay, and last but not least was the one in color. This one didn't want to take the iron either that much, but it did iron out pretty nice. Look at that. Let's see if I have it on the right side. Or fold it. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And so when I wear them, I just fold them back like a collar. So I just fold that back, and then I wrap the whole. Then it's a long. It's not as wide, but you go around the neck. So you just fold it back, just like that, and put that around your neck and down the front. And then you can decide whether you want to tie it, have it just plain long, or do some of the other styles that we shared, that I shared with you. So what do you think? Now, wasn't this a fun day? I got to chat, which I hadn't done in a good while. I walked you through making these fun, easy, these so easy, fabulous scarves. These are spring, summer scarves that you can, like I say, put on and dress up anything, whether it's jeans or slacks or a pretty long skirt with the split up the side, whatever it is you fancy. This will speak volumes and give you that little extra pop that you need. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you give this a try, because as you saw in the intro, I've been making these for a long time, and I will link the original video. It's a different little style scarf than this. It wasn't a long straight one. I did more. It was a little more involved. But this one is so easy because anyone can make it. Even if you didn't have a sewing machine, you could hand stitch this, or if you don't have the rotary cutter, you can cut everything by scissors. A half a yard, who knew? Who knew a half a yard could bring so much style and pleasure and beauty and just be fabulous? Well, I know, and now you know. And Bert knows. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Wishing you, if I don't have a video up before Easter, I'll wish you a happy Easter. I'm going to try. I'll see what I can get up. But I wish you a happy, happy, and blessed Easter. So, I'll see you next time. Enjoy. And don't forget, you look fabulous. Bye-bye.